directions? Yes. Today we're doing translation. So it says a translation moves a point of a figure in the same distance and same direction. The image of the translation is always congruent. Congruent, that's our symbol for congruent, to the original. And what that means is if I do a translation, it will always have the same shape and it will always have the same size. All the angles will be the same, all the sides will be the same. It is exactly congruent, okay? It's like the same thing just moved, okay? So, as we're taking a look at that next part now, it says, we are looking at this design at the right, the leftmost flag, flag 1, okay? So this is flag 1 over here, and on yours, I don't know, our picture kind of gets changed when I put it on my projector. But this should be flag 2, flag 3, this was 4, and this was flag 5. I think yours has that in your notes. It's just that mine, I don't know, it kind of gets changed a little. So it says if we are going from flag 1 drawn and we want to translate it as show, write down the new coordinates. So we started at this point, right? This is -4, -4. We are now moving it to where? In flag 2. -2 and -3, okay? So when we are taking a look at that one, we're going to move it to -2 and -3, right? So flag 1 started at -4, -4. It's now at -4 or -2, -3. This point that was at -4, 0, this is at the top, right? What's our new part on flag 2 at the top? -2, 1. This was the -3, -3, -1. It is now at where? -1 and 0. And this new point of -4 and -2 is now moving to -2, -1. You are now asked to do the same thing for flag 3. So our flag 3 is this one. Tell your points going around. So the first one is at 0, -2. The top is now at 0, 2. If you put 2, 0, that means you're moving over 2. Remember, that first number tells us up and down, so 0, 2. Then we have 1, 1, 1. And our last one is back at our origin. So it says if you compare the coordinates of the flag, describe the pattern that relates to each coordinate on the flag as we move it to the right. And this is what I would like for you to write down. Each flag, okay, each flag moves 2 units to the right and 1 unit up. The X coordinate increases by 2. The Y coordinate increases by 1. Each flag moves 2 units to the right, 1 unit up as you are writing. X coordinate increases by 2. Y increases by 1. And it looks like that's the case each one, right? Over 2, up 1, over 2, up 1. Doesn't matter which point I pick. If I pick here, if I pick this one, over 2 and up 1. That is the same pattern all the time on our flag. So it says, how can we write this as a rule? And this is what you'll see in your homework for the rule. This is what the rule is going to look like, okay? It's going to say this. So please put this whole table down. Put slide to the right, and I'm going to give you plenty of time to copy this down. This is x, y, changes to x plus 2, and then y plus 1. And this is how you're going to be writing your rules for this part when we look at it. When we write the rule, it'll be the x, y, and then the second part will be the x plus 2 or the y plus 1. Jack.
Is this going to be like Where you have to put that little dash by it, or the second dash by it.
Yep, you're still gonna do the prime and, yep, when we draw, exactly. So, here is the one that we are asked to translate. It says, and sometimes your directions are gonna give you in words, another time they'll give you the rule. This one tells us that we are gonna go 4 to the right, 3 up. So the easiest thing to do is you don't actually have to write out the rule, you're just going to pick one of your points. So if we start at K, we got to go 4 to the right, so count over 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that right now. Just start at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4 over, and now go up 3. This is exactly what we want to put as our K prime. Now, we notice that L is 1 back from that, so shouldn't this be L prime? And I don't know if you need to count over 4 and up 3, but, and down from L, 3 down from L is M, right? So I can go down 1, 2, 3, and this should be my M prime. And again, if I wanted to check, that is over 4 and up 3. And then I'm going to move from the M, I go over 2, and that is my N prime. So connect each one with the points. Should the shape stay the same? Should our shape be the exact same shape? Should be the same shape, same size, so it is congruent as we are looking at those. Okay? Tomorrow's homework quiz kind of looks a little like one of these. So when you are looking at this problem, you might want to notice that the blue one is our original. It's A, B, C, D. And it says, the new one is the A prime, B prime, C. It says, describe the translation from the blue figure to the red figure. Each point moves if we are counting. And so, Jaden, I think your question you were looking at asking was, does it matter which point you start with to move? However, it does not matter. So it doesn't matter if I want to pick and check that I move 6 units and 3 down from D, from A, from B to C, it doesn't matter. You just want to pick one of them. So if I pick C, I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down 1, 2, 3. This is how we're going to write our rule. X, Y changes, X plus 6, because we move to the right, and Y minus 3. So you are asked to describe what is this translation. We are starting with the figure in blue, and we are moving to the red. Which point do you want me to pick? Doesn't matter.
R.
R. If you pick R, you pick B, count how far you are moving it to the left. And since we're moving to the left, that means we want to go X minus. You can't just put a minus, you must put X. How far are you subtracting to get from this point? And count it on your paper will probably be easier, right in your notes, to here, right? So we're going R, we were moving it over X minus. How far did we move it? 5? Or 6? 6, right? If we are moving this. So we're going to have X minus 6. And then we are looking at our Y. So we're going to have X minus 6. And how far down did you move it? So now we're looking at how far down. So how far over and how far down. It was minus 5. Yeah. It was X minus 5. What is the Y? Is it minus or plus?
Minus.
Minus again. And the Y should be minus 4. Okay? Yes, it does matter. So the question is, does it matter which one you're starting from? Yes, it matters very much as we are looking at this. Because the original one, Jack,
Well, it doesn't.
no, listen, just listen. The original one does not have any of these primes. So this is my original picture, okay?
I just couldn't see how it specified blue.
I know, but notice that the letters do not have any of the prime marks. They don't have any of those, like that tick mark kind of outside of them. These are the original to this one. And if not on your paper, you might want to write down blue to red, okay? As you are looking at them. All right, so let's take a look on the next page. Last page notes for today. Okay, so it says two congruent figures. Two figures are congruent if the corresponding sides are the same length. Shh, quiet, please. And their corresponding angles are the same measure. So, if we are writing that two things are congruent, this is what I would like for you to be filling in. We would write the rule that shows the translation from ABC to A prime, B prime, C prime. And again, if you're not sure, it's really hard on up here, but this is A, and this one is A prime. So how do you know what is the original? The original doesn't have any of the primes around it. So this is our original picture, if we are looking at that. So we have our original. And if we are moving, and it doesn't matter if I go to A, if I go to point B, if I go to point C. I am moving them all 5 to the left, right? And then I went up 3. This is how we write it in our rule. 5 to the left means x minus 5, up 3 plus 3. It says, are the two triangles congruent? No. If I would cut one triangle out, Jack, I need your attention up here, and I place it and I cut it out and put it on top of the other one, would these two be the same shape, same size?
Yes.
Yes, so they are congruent. It says, in a translation, does the orientation change? Remember yesterday our orientation changed with our reflection? But with a translation, so the original went from A to B to C in this red figure, right? That would be clockwise, okay? When I look at A prime to B prime to C prime, did it change?
No.
A prime, B prime, C prime. So if we are looking, is the orientation changed when we translate? Never changed. Not with a translation. The only time our orientation is going to change is when you do one reflection. If you do 2 reflections, it changes back, correct? Well, odd numbers of reflections, correct. So, right now you are asked to describe the rule, okay, for the top 2. So again, and it says, so what I'd like you to do is put the word red and blue by the figures. So yours, because you can't really tell, please write the word red here, and write the word red, so you know which one is red and which one is blue. Okay, so write that in your notes, because it's really hard to tell. And you're asked to describe the transformation from the blue, which means the blue is our original. And it matters hugely which one is your first one, to the red, which is the new figure. When you start these rules, you're always going to start with x, comma, y. And then you're going to tell me the change. Okay? So now, if blue is the original, right? Anytime we are looking at this, blue is our original. After you kind of look at one of your points, maybe you want to go from the point here to the point, if you think of that like a pencil. You think of this one as your, so we're moving from blue to red, right? From blue to red. Again, it doesn't matter which point you pick as you look at those. First one, someone want to tell me what you had? Jaden, what do you have?
5 and 4.
So when we do it, we can't put just the 5 and 4. We have to put
Well,
x.
that's what I did.
Oh, so when you read yours, we want to read it as the ordered pair: x plus y, y plus 4. Hayden, you got the second one?
Yeah, put X minus 5 and Y.
X minus 5, Y plus 3. Okay, making sense to everyone?
Yeah.
So far, most of you are going to like the reflections and translations. Tomorrow gets a little more into the rules, you got to be careful for it. But now we want to plot in this last one. So we're going to plot the point L, which is over at 4, 2, letter L. 0, 3, which means we are not moving left or right. We are going up 3, bless you.
Bless you.
That is my point M. Then I have N at 1, 1. So we still have a triangle. Okay. It now says take each of your points and move them. What is X minus 3 telling us? What is X minus 3? To the left, 3. And this is telling us to go up 1. Okay? So I'm going to draw the new one. So this is what your homework looks like a lot of times. They give you the directions this way. Sometimes they give them in words. I am going to the left 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 1. This is my new point N prime. 1, 2, 3, up 1. M prime. 1, 2, 3 for L, up 1. L prime. And some of you found when you did your homework yesterday that it kind of worked nice to shade that picture in, especially when they overlap, that's where my final answer is. Or some of you are using a highlighter and you go around quips. So, as you are going around and showing it that way, so looking at your homework, if you would, please.